Hi ELHAPers, Garg back again, and this week we are going to be looking at another group of animals. We're going to be looking at nocturnal animals. So nocturnal being creatures that wake up at night, or most active at night anyway. So the first one we're going to have a look at is a beautiful bird. We're going to be looking at our barn owl. So you may have to bear with me for a second. I'm just going to step to the side a little bit. I'm going to put my special glove on because barn owls have amazing big talons or claws, and they can be very sharp. So we're going to put our special glove on. We're going to lift her out. Her name's Bella. She may be a bit squawky when she first comes out, just because it's daytime, so she might be a little bit grumpy, and she's waiting for some dinner as well today. Let's gently lift her out. She's just to the side today. You're going to hop up for me, Bella. Whee! Here she comes. She's a bit flappy. There we go. Oh, hang on, whacking me in the head. Thank you. That's it. Good girl. Well done. This is Bella. And Bella is a barn owl. Oh, you're showing off your wings, are you? What's a good girl? You're going to fold them up? They're in the way. I can't see you. I can't see the camera. Now, this is Bella. She's a barn owl. And barn owls can be found pretty much all over the world, apart from the Arctic, so right up in the North Pole, because it's way too cold for them up there and very little food for them to eat. Now these guys, they would mainly like to eat rodents, so like mice, maybe small rats as well. But they will take on other things as well. Some will eat baby rabbits and other things if they come across and manage to catch them. She's going to have a good old flap about in a minute, so excuse her there. Now Bella, she is a girl barn owl, and we can tell that by underneath here, underneath her wings somewhere. We gently lift her wing up. You'll see there's some little black speckles under there. Only the girls have these little dark speckles. The boys are actually pure white underneath their tummy. So that's an easy way, but you can only tell that once they're fully grown. Once they've got all their grown up feathers, you'll notice the black speckles on them. Barn owls do have a horrible noise actually, these ones. They're not nice twit-to-ooey owls. If you're ever outside and you was lucky enough to hear a twit-to-oo, what you would actually be hearing is the British tawny owl, which they're the ones that have that beautiful noise and the most common sound for the owls. And actually, if you hear a twit-to-woo, it's actually two tawny owls that you can hear. Again, they're nocturnal, same as the barn owls, but there's the two twit-to-woos. Is one owl will say twit and the other one will reply with a to-woo. And the barn owls, these ones, sadly, they have the screechy noise, these ones. But she's very, very beautiful. Should we bring her things? You've got a dirty face, haven't you? Yes. And she's got a dirty face from her dinner last night. If you bring her a bit closer, can we see? There we go. Look at that. Shine your dirty face. Now, you'll notice as well on the barn owl, because they are hunting at night, she has very big, dark eyes, being able to absorb as much light at night, so from the moon or something, as much light as they possibly can to find their food. And also you'll see she's got a beautiful heart-shaped face. Now being at night, it's dark, so they can't see, so they've got to rely really well on their hearing. So that heart-shaped face actually helps channel lots of sound to her ears. The sound will hit those feathers and it makes it move all the way around to her ears. So she's got an amazing good hearing. But sadly, barn owls, they do fly very low to the ground. So when they're hunting, they'll be flying literally only about a metre, maybe a metre and a half above the ground. And sadly, because of this, and lots of roads, motorways being built these days, sadly lots of barn owls are actually getting run over, which is really sad. And the other trouble for poor barn owls is their habitat. A lot of their habitat is being taken away. Oops, thank you for that. Sadly, a lot of the barns where they would nest and have their babies, a lot of the barns are being converted into homes or holiday houses and things like that, sadly, or pulled down to build much bigger areas for people to live as well. So a lot of the barn owl habitats are disappearing, which is a great shame. Excellent. Ready? Should we come in for one more closer look? Actually, let's turn around. Let's see if we can see the beautiful patterns on her back. Ready? You can turn around, Bella, for us. Look at the beautiful patterns on her back. Very, very pretty. There we go. Then you're going to smile at the camera. There's a good girl. Excellent. What's a good girl? She's giving a good old nose round today. She's going to go and have some dinner in a little while, in a moment. We'll finish up with you, hey? Yes, and we're going to get some food. You're a good girl, Bella. Yes. Right, so we're going to nip out a camera shot and we're going to bring out the next nocturnal animal. See you in a second. This is Gobi, and Gobi is our Indian fruit bat. You may remember him from our first video of the smelly animals, and he's still smelly. But this time we're looking at him because he is technically a nocturnal animal, or actually more corpuscular, this one. So he's active at dawn and dusk. In the evenings, just as the sun's going down, Gobi will leave the caves, they'll fly off, they'll fly to the trees, they'll spend all night eating lots of different fruit things, and then as the sun comes up, when they can see better, they then fly back home with these ones. There we go, we'll bring him in for a closer look. Now Gobi is much bigger than a lot of our British bats. A lot of our British bats are very, very small and things. Whereas these guys, they will use their eyes. Again, with British bats, they have that echolocation. They're the ones that emit the funny squeak, and it comes, hits their prey, and it comes back to their ears as an echo, so they know where their food are. So our British bats don't have particularly great eyesight because they're relying on that squeaking. Whereas the fruit bats, they do generally have very good eyesight. These ones, there he goes. Now we have got him a little treat today, Gobi. Let's give him a little treat. We've got him a grape today. There we go. Would you like a little grape? Oh, he's going to have a sniff. Oh, there he goes. Yum yum. He normally gets his more in the evenings, this one. There we go. He's going to munch on that. It's very useful. He's going to munch on that grape, chew it all up, get all the juice out. Then he'll spit the skin out. He's actually going to try and find some seeds inside the grape. He won't find any today. He's got seedless grapes. But normally the grapes would have seeds in them, so they'd spit them out, help spread all the seeds to help pollinate and grow new plants. There we go. You're very noisy when you eat as well. Let's see if we bring him in so you can hear him making funny noisy bits. There we go. Very noisy eater, aren't you? And the tongue sticking out as well. Good boy. There we go. We might see if we can get him to have a little flap in a moment. We can see how big his wings are as well. Oh, he's going to come for a little cuddle. There's a good boy. He's having a sniff. No, don't spit it on me, thank you. You can spit the grape down on the floor. There we go. Yum, yum, yum. We'll wait for a second. There we go. Now, Gobi, he has got nice little hooks in the middle of his wing. These are for him to climb. Because again, where he's going to be in the trees looking for all the fruit, they've got to be very good at climbing about. These ones, not so much of the flying. Our British bats are eating the little insects, so they've got to constantly stay in the air, flying about, trying to catch all the little mosquitoes and midges that they like to eat. Whereas these guys, they will fly to the trees, and then they'll use this to climb about the trees. They're a bit of a claw, so they can climb up the trees, get to the fruit, and have a good old munch. But you're very messy eaters, aren't you? Yes, indeed, you do. Right, now we spat that bit of grape out. Let's see, can we have a little flap, Gobi? Can we have a little flap? Or we got to have a tummy tickle first. Oh, there we go, let's have a tummy tickle. He may not want to do it, it's a little bit early still in the day for him to be flapping about. There we go. Oh. Now, with Gobi, where they're more active in the evenings of things, the reason that they're actually, oh, there we go. Step back a bit. The reason that they're actually active in the evenings is because it's a little bit cooler. In India, during the peak of the day, it's really, really hot. And their wings are so very, very fine, very thin skin. If they go out in the peak of the day, their wings would actually burn. They'd go very crispy, the skin would dry out, not very good at all. And then what they'll do, so they'll avoid the peak of the day, hiding in the caves. And as the sun goes down, it cools down, they then come out, stretch their wings, have a flap, and then they can fly about when it's not so hot. There we go. Good boy. Excellent. Now that is our bat. So what we'll do is we're going to say goodbye to Gobi, and we're going to have a look at some others. But the next few animals, we may have a look at them in their enclosure, especially one of them because he is a little bit more dangerous, but we'll come to those. We're going to look at, oh, couldn't see me. We're going to look at those in their enclosure. So bear with, we'll pop this one away and we're going to have a look at somebody else. Here we go, guys. This is our first enclosure we're going into. This one with our crested geckos. There's actually two crested geckos. We've got one down here and we've got one sitting up here. This one is our female crested gecko. Let's bring her in. Oh, and the little boy's just on the run. Where's he going? This is our boy crested gecko. Now, crested geckos, they come from the islands of New Caledonia, which is actually near Australia and Fiji as well. These guys would be nocturnal. They're out in the rainforests in the evenings, looking out for different insects these guys would eat, and they love to eat soft fruits, so overripe mangoes and things. There we go. But sadly, both of ours actually came from a rehoming centre, these ones, so they should have a nice long tail. Let's bring him in. There we go. You'll see this one's missing his tail. There we go. He's got funny shaped bottom, and the female sadly has as well. Sadly, they do what we call drop their tail. Their tails will fall off if they become stressed at all. So their previous homes, something must have gone on, and sadly they've dropped their tails. They do get a bit of a funny nickname now though, because they've lost their tail. They're actually known as a frog butt. Where's the other one gone? There he is. There's our frog butt crested gecko. Now we are hoping that these guys will have babies. Well, they'll lay eggs. The female will lay eggs in a little while, hopefully. We'll make a little nest box for them, and then she'll lay them on some moss. But these geckos are very strange. These guys don't have any eyelids. So lots of lizards will have eyelids. These guys don't. So I'm trying to keep an eye on both of them to see if we can catch them lick their eyeballs. These ones, because their eyes, they don't want them drying out. So what they'll do is they'll actually stick their tongue out and lick their eyes, which is a bit strange. But that's to keep them nice and clean and nice and moist, keep them wet as well, stop their eyes from drying out. These ones. There we go. So that's the boy. He's a lot more yellow. The boy one. Crested geckos are quite common in captivity when they're kept as pets. In the wild, their numbers are starting to grow again, but for quite a long time, for nearly 30 years, in the wild, they believed they were extinct in the wild. They've always been in captivity, but they thought in the wild there wasn't any left until not that long ago. I think it was only back in the 1990s, it's about 1994 or something like that. These guys were rediscovered in the wild after a bit of a tropical storm. Actually, what flushed a lot of them out with a heavy rain, flushed them out from deep in the rainforest, and they actually rediscovered them. So they've managed to find, and they think their numbers are steadily going up again, which is fantastic. As you can see, very, very good at climbing. These guys, they can climb on glass as well, very smooth areas. Let's see if we can zoom in on their toes, because they have got funny little toes. Oh, can we focus on that? These toes a little bit. On their toes, they've got lots of fine hairs underneath their feet. And by having those... For these geckos, as we said, these got very fine hairs on their toes, which allows them to stick to glass, which is a bit strange, the hair, but it is very fine hairs on the bits of their toes. And that way it can spread their body weight, allowing them to stick to very, very shiny surfaces. These ones, and when they walk, they actually have to, they can't just lift their foot off the floor, they actually have to curl their toes. If I gently move her foot, see if she'll curl her toes up for us. What they'll do is they will gently bend their toes backwards like this to be able to lift their toes off. It's a bit like Velcro, so they stick very, very well. There she goes. What a beautiful little creature. There she is. There's our girl one. Oh, and she's having a little lick of the branch. Wonderful little tongue. As I say, these are nocturnal. They really are out at night time. They're jumping around their enclosure a lot more in the evenings. I'll be a bit more sleepy now. Let's go back up to our boy. He's still sitting up the top. There we go. It's coming a bit closer to him. We can see him. What's he up to? There we go. This one, his name, the boy one, he's called Ribbit. This one. We don't actually have a name for the girl yet. Rebecca, maybe. There we go. Now we'll leave these guys to have a little sleep, ready for partying tonight. and we'll move on into our next enclosure. Bye bye guys, and we'll leave you to get on. Bye. Our next enclosure is with this one that's a little bit more dangerous. I'm going to have to watch my fingers. Let's go in a bit closer. This is our Asian forest scorpion. There we go. Look, oh, she's not too happy at the moment. She's a bit camera shy. She's got her tail up in the air. Ready. There we go. And these guys really are nocturnal. They're out at night. Now we can see her quite easily at the moment, but she is very, very dark. And if I gently, well, quickly turn out her light, you will see, oh, if you're out in the rainforest in India, Malaysia or Indonesia, where these guys have come from, you would have trouble finding that one, wouldn't you? You'd have trouble finding her. And then we turn the light back on so we can see her. There she is. There we go. Now this scorpion, as we know, she does have a nasty sting, and she can use it. There is venom inside that sting. There's big pinchers as well. Oh, we'll try and focus a little bit better on that one. There we go. Now actually looking at the sides of those pinchers, really big pinchers, that's actually a good sign. We like big pinchers because the saying usually goes, scorpions with big pinchers aren't as venomous or aren't as dangerous as the ones with smaller, thinner pinchers. Now, she could still give you a nasty sting. It would be very, very painful with these ones, but it's actually no worse than a bee sting, venom-wise. If anyone's ever been stung by a wasp or a bee, you know it's very painful, not very pleasant, but we don't tend to have to rush off to hospital. Same goes as the Asian forest scorpion. So we wouldn't have to rush off to hospital technically, but it would be very red and sore. There we go. Let's bring her in. Look, oh, I've got my fingers going in closer. There she is. Now these guys, they actually glow under an ultraviolet light. These guys. So if people were out in the rainforests looking for them, they would take a special ultraviolet light. And the scorpions will glow actually a bright green colour, because it's actually the way their exoskeleton's made, where their bones are on the outside. The ultraviolet light bounces off of them and makes them glow sort of a luminous green. Look at that. Oh, look at those pinchers. There we go. I'll go in. Hopefully it stays focused. There's her little mouth in there. She is actually on her own, this one. That's it, because they can fight a little bit, scorpions. If you keep lots together, they can fight. These ones. There we go. Super. And let's see if we can get a close-up of the sting. There we go. What can we see? Oh, look at that. There we go. Good one of the sting. There we go. Amazing creature though. In fact, scorpions have been around long before the dinosaurs were ever about. Scorpions have been on Earth for around about 400 million years. So they're a very prehistoric animal, these ones. And they've not really changed either. They've stayed pretty much the same design, look pretty much the same. The only difference is these scorpions are much smaller than their relatives. Back 400 million years ago or so, the scorpions could have been almost a metre long. So really big scorpions. I'm glad they're not around today. We're much happier with the smaller ones. Super. Now we'll move on from this one and we'll have a look at somebody else. There we go. Now our next one we have to be a little bit quieter because she is a bit nervy, this one. Here we go. She is a hedgehog. Oh, she's eating some snack. Thought we'd give her a little snack for being good. This is Archer. And Archer is actually a girl, and she's known as an African pygmy hedgehog. These ones. There we go. Now she may hide away a little bit because it's very early for her, so we thank you for you to come out today. There she is. Now, Arch being an African pygmy hedgehog, she would come from Central and Eastern Africa. Oh, she's having a wander around. Now, we've put her in a different enclosure today, so hopefully she'll come round, because in her enclosure she's got lots of places to hide. So we've actually brought her out so that hopefully we'll get to see her a bit better. There we go, she's having a little wander off. Hopefully you'll come back. She's going to go and hide in the corner. Let's go and see if we can go and see if she'll come out. Oh, she's gone to hide in the corner. There we go. I think she's a bit sleepy today. As I say, it's quite early for her, so hopefully she will come out. Oh, there we go. Now that noise is that she's a little bit unhappy, so we won't get too close. We'll back off a little bit. There we go. We'll back off for you. There's a good girl. Here she goes. Now, this is an African hedgehog. Look very similar to the British hedgehog, although our British hedgehogs are having a bit of a hard time at the moment with lots and lots of their habitat being taken away. These ones, and lots of roads and motorways being built. Sadly, a lot of the hedgehogs get squashed, and now a lot of our hedgehogs, people are fighting to get them protected as well. So there's lots of things we could actually do to help our British hedgehogs, and that can be to making our gardens a bit more easily accessible for them. We can put little holes in the bottom of the fences so the hedgehogs can move from garden to garden, because they're very useful in your garden. They'll actually eat lots of things like the snails and the slugs that might try and eat your plants. The hedgehogs will eat those for you. It'll fill their tummy up, so they like it, and you're getting rid of the slugs and snails that will eat all your flowers. So they're very, very good creatures. There's also, we can do make lots of nice little houses for them to sleep in our gardens. With those, you can go on the internet and you can find lots of amazing ways to build hedgehog homes, and there's also lots of other things we can do to help them as well. Let's go in a bit closer now. Just calm down a bit. Oh, you can just about see her little nose sticking out. There she is. In fact, Rosie's not been Archer. This isn't Rosie, this is Archer today. Archer only came to me back in May, so Archer's not been with us for very long, so she is still a little bit nervy at the moment, but she will calm down in time. Let's back up a bit, let's see if she'll come out the corner. This is partly why we didn't hold her, because she'll just curl in a ball and we wouldn't get to see her very well, which she's not going to do very well today. There we go. Gonna come out, Archer, and say hello. Come and say hi. Oh look, there's a little bug. We'll see if she'll come out for the bug. She might see it. That one there is a giant moray worm here. It's a moray worm that they like to eat. We'll see if she'll come out for it. Not sure. Don't think that Mario worm realises where it's going. Probably not the best way to go, is it? Oh, you can hear her munching. There she is. A good girl. Now unfortunately that was our last one today of our lovely nocturnal animals. There we go. It's fantastic. Let's leave her alone. We'll put her back in her enclosure and she could go back and have a nice little sleep. There we go. Thank you for tuning in again, guys, and we will see you again another time with some more amazing creatures. Bye bye, guys.